Hi everyone, Joe Vitale, American Retirement Advisors with the Gradient Investments Weekly Market Update for the week ending September 1st, 2023. Note, markets were closed on Monday in observance of Labor Day. So let's get into some equities. Stocks were higher across the major global market indices last week after important inflation-related data indicated future interest rate hikes could be avoided. Remember, they're talking about a pause, they're talking about going backwards, they're just waiting, so we're seeing how that works. The benchmark U.S. index, the S&P 500, rose 2.5%, while the Russell 2000 was up 3.67%. The NASDAQ was up 3.27%. Now, overseas, the developed markets, which is the EFA, was up 2.54%, and the emerging markets was up 1.52%. Within the U.S., the best performing sectors were technology and energy, while the laggards were utilities and consumer staples. Small caps, again, outperformed mid caps and large cap stocks, and growth outperformed value. We've been seeing that a lot this year. The NASDAQ has come out pretty strong. Our G33 portfolio is up over 34%, so it's doing really good as well. Let's get into fixed income, labor, and inflation data. We've got some information below. Drove yields lower and bond values higher. Yields on the policy-sensitive 2-year treasuries fell 16 basis points to 4.87%, while the yield on the 10-year declined by 7 basis points to 4.18%. You're seeing a little different this week. It's actually going the other way. It changes all the time. Talking about commodities, gasoline prices have been especially volatile over the past few weeks on hurricane forecasts and actual hurricane results. When the forecast path of a hurricane includes refineries along the Gulf Coast from Texas to Louisiana, gas prices are likely to raise, right? And if the forecast path includes high population area, where numerous people are likely to flee, gas prices are likely to rise as well. If neither of these scenarios actually occur, then prices are likely to drop, and if both of these scenarios occur, they'll rise dramatically. Now, with the departure of Hurricane Idalia, the price of gasoline futures dropped 5 cents to $2.59 per barrel. Or per gallon. We're going to see how that goes this week. We're starting to see a little bit different opening up. They're starting to China demand, so we're starting to see it go up higher. Economic data, the U.S. labor market data shows that the number of new job openings fell 8.84 million to 8.84 million in July, landing well below the analyst forecast of 9.56 million, in a sign that higher interest rates were weighing on demand for workers. We're starting to see that, again, the softening of the market. In the U.S. Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index, the Fed's preferred measure of inflation, rose 0.2% in July, in line with expectations. The month-over-month rate was the same when excluding volatile food and energy prices. At an annual rate, prices are rising 2.4%, or slightly ahead of the Fed's goal of 2%, but far better than the annualized 4.8% last summer. Let's get into some company news. When you look at Lululemon Athletica, which is a G33 holding, sales and earnings beat high expectations, and sales growth in North America accelerated 11%, while looking at Greater China grew 61%. The success of the belt bag drove 44% growth in accessories. Management raised sales and earnings guidance for the full year, and indicated it sees meaningful long-term opportunity via product innovation and international expansion. Shares were up 10.56% for the week. Let's talk about Netflix. Their core selected G33 holdings shares were up 5.73% after data on continuing subscriber growth and momentum in advertising improved even after company cracked down on their sharing subscriptions in late May. We heard a lot about that. That should increase the revenue, and it looks like it is working. So how about UBS? They're a G40I holding. They announced quarterly results that were better than expectations. The Swiss bank holding company also announced plans to cut $10 billion in expenses in the next 2 years, following its acquisition of Credit Suisse's bank in 2024. So they bailed out Credit Suisse, so they're just going to cut expenses now, but shares were up 7.16% for the week. That concludes this week's market update. Thank you so much for being part of the ARA family. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you know the number, 855-756-5700. Visit us at aradvisorsinc.com. Remember, we're coming towards the end of the year now. We keep talking about this time for Roth conversions, making sure we take advantage of the tax brackets right now. because if we don't, it's going to be pretty ugly down the road. So we're looking at making sure that we're taking advantage of everything. If we have qualified minimum distributions that you have to take, remember there's charities that you don't have to pay tax when you send those qualified charitable distributions over. So make sure you reach out to us. We're trying to reach out as well. God bless you. We'll see you again next week.